Welcome to Empowered Wellness with Sheetal. Thank you very much for joining me today for our live guided meditation together. We've been doing this now for several weeks, and for the reason that not only do we get to meditate and practice meditation to help ourselves to get the benefits of meditation, which there are many, but in doing so, when we come together as a group with a common intention and meditate in this shared environment, that we create a positive ripple effect with our practice of meditation. So the more people we get together to meditate together, whether it's live or even after the fact, afterwards, the more people that are sharing in a common intention through the recorded meditation, we're creating a positive ripple effect that also benefits our communities, our environment. So I'm very grateful that you're choosing to spend this time with me today for this common goal. So for today's meditation, I thought that we would take a mindful journey through the senses. Now, when we typically think of meditation, we think of going inward and quieting the mind. And the teachings of yoga tell us that in order to go into that space of inner awareness that we're striving for when we meditate, that we need to transcend our senses. And while that is certainly the result that we are striving to experience, that can be a challenge, especially if you're new to meditation or if you don't have a regular practice. And even those that have a regular practice, we all know that some days it's a little easier and some days it's a little more challenging. So one of the ways that we can actually eventually get to that deep place of inner awareness beyond our senses is to actually use the senses and become aware of the senses and use that as a means toward that way. So that's what we're going to do today, is explore the senses as a way to get really present, as a way to tune in to the here and now, and to really tap into your being. And from there, see what happens, see where it takes you. So let's get started. And of course, find a nice comfortable seat. So whether you're sitting on a chair or on the floor, make sure you're supported, however you need to be supported. And today I'll invite you to not close your eyes right away, but instead to find a focus point, something in front of you that perhaps is pleasing to focus on, something where you can set your gaze, where there's not movement. And you can just allow yourself to focus on that object. And as you do that, begin to take some nice, smooth, full breaths, starting to slow down that breath, steady your breath, find a nice rhythm, and continuing to breathe those steady, smooth, even breaths. Also begin to soften and relax the eyes. So notice as you gaze upon your object of focus, notice if there's tension around the eyes. Notice if you're crinkling the forehead or tightening any area of the face, around the eyes especially. See if you can relax the area around the eyes, the muscles behind the eyes, creating ease in your gaze. And as you do that, also see if you can begin to soften that gaze. Softening the gaze of your object of focus. And you may even notice that part of your vision begins to blur as you soften your gaze. And just notice if the mind begins to go into any stories around this. Stories of why we're doing this, how it feels, or perhaps even other stories. And see if instead you can just bring yourself back to focus on your object with soft eyes, just being aware of this external sight, being aware of your external vision in this moment. And now I'll invite you to begin to gently lower those eyelids slowly. And as you lower the eyelids, just softly close those eyes, noticing if there's any gripping, any tension that came with the closing of the eyelids. And if so, once again, relax around the eyes, relax the forehead, and notice what you see now inward. Moving from that external vision, perhaps you even see your object of focus as part of your inner vision now. Or perhaps you see colors, textures. Or perhaps you just simply see darkness. It doesn't matter. There's no need, once again, to analyze or figure anything out. Simply be aware and observe your inner vision, whatever that might be. And I'll invite you to shift your awareness now to your sense of hearing. Notice the sounds in your environment. Of course, there's my voice every now and then. But what else do you hear in your environment? Feel free to identify or label those sounds, whatever they may be. But once again, refrain from trying to analyze or figure out why the sound is happening or where it's coming from. Instead, simply be with the sound. Be aware of the various sounds. And even if you do not hear any other sounds, can you tap into the white noise behind the sound or lack of sound? Can you hear the silence? I invite you to now shift your awareness to the sense of smell. Becoming aware of what you smell in your environment. Is there a lingering smell? Or maybe there's a smell that just comes and goes? Once again, feel free to identify or label a smell if it's familiar, without going into inquiry or analysis around it. Instead, just being fully aware of the sense of smell. And maybe there are no outstanding smells that you perceive. Simply be aware of your sense of smell. Despite that, what is your nose picking up? I invite you now to shift awareness to the sense of taste. Become aware of the area around the mouth. If you notice tension in the jaw, relax the jaw. Relax the lips, perhaps even parting them slightly. Relax the tongue, maybe even bringing the tip of the tongue to the inner part of the front teeth, if that feels comfortable. If not, simply relax the tongue within your mouth. Notice what you taste. Is there a lingering taste in your mouth? Bringing full awareness to your sense of taste, to your tongue, to your taste buds on your tongue. Letting go of any need to inquire or analyze or figure out. Just maintaining awareness within the mouth on your sense of taste. And I invite you now to shift your awareness to your hands, wherever they may be, wherever they're resting. And particularly, bring awareness to the palms of your hands. And just notice the sense of touch. So if your palms are turned down, touching something, your legs, knees, thighs, armrests, become aware of that feeling of touch, specifically right at the palms of your hands. And if your palms are turned up and not actually physically in contact with something else, become aware of the feel of air, the touch of air on the insides of your hands. Pay attention to that point in the center of your hands, in the center of your palms. How does that feel? What do you notice there through that sense of touch? Now bring awareness to your fingertips. What do you notice there at your fingertips? Perhaps becoming aware of more than just the sensation of touch against a physical, tangible object, but maybe you're noticing the energy at the palms of your hands and at your fingertips. Just observe any and all sensations at your hands without need to figure anything out or analyze or question. I invite you now to shift awareness to your breathing and make some gentle effort to breathe in and out deeply, smoothly, fully. And as you do this, simply notice what you are aware of. Notice what you observe at your senses, what you're perceiving in this moment. Again, without having to go further, without having to analyze, to create a story around it, to describe it, to question it, but just instead practicing the observance, the awareness of this moment. noticing if that awareness feels deeper. And to bring our guided meditation to completion today, I invite you to take 3 nice, big, full breaths in. And as you exhale, sigh out, sound out, send out an intention of awareness, of presence of mind. And again, 2 more times. Let's take that big breath in and out. Fully aware of that exhale, the sensations around it, the sounds around it. One last time, nice big breath in and out. May we all be present. May we all be aware in the moment. And now gently bringing those hands to your heart space. Perhaps right hand on your chest, left hand on top, or perhaps in prayer or Anjali Mudra. Just tilting the head down toward your heart, bowing that head to honor yourself. I honor the place in you in which the universe resides. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, peace, and joy. And when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. So, again, hopefully in experiencing the senses and bringing your awareness to the various senses, maybe by the end you had a deeper experience of those senses. Perhaps finding that deep awareness that sometimes eludes us when we meditate. So I hope you enjoyed our shared practice today. I hope you'll join me again next week. And until then, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week.